Hey guys, and welcome to another epic topic on Ask Dan. I'll give you a bit of a background. So I got asked, Dan, actually I got asked on Monday, Dan, what do I do when I forget a meal? Should I just have a meal replacement shake? That was one question from actually a random person, to be honest with you, in the room. And the other question that I got asked last week was, hey Dan, I've decided to cut breakfast out and have meal replacement shakes. So I'm here to talk about meal replacement shakes. It's come up quite a bit in the past week or two. And I'm just going to shed some light on what I think and when to use them and when not to use them, and just in general what I think needs to be done. First of all, before we get any further, I want to discuss what I consider a meal replacement shake. Now, the difference, what I'm not talking about here is getting blueberries, making a Dan shake and using that as a meal replacement, because technically you're actually just blending a meal into a shake and then just consuming it the same way you would if it was solid. So what I'm talking about now is specific meal replacement shakes. So the shakes that actually have on the label meal replacement, not protein, not BCAAs, not pre-workout or anything like that. I'm specific meal replacement shakes. Now, first of all, unless it's medically prescribed to you for a reason. I have a friend who's really overweight. He used to be 180 kilos, actually close to the 200 kilo mark. And in order for him to drop down the weight really quickly so they could operate on him, he would have meal replacement shakes, and that way his calorie intake was dramatically reduced. Now, that is a medical reason why he needed to have the meal replacement shakes. My personal opinion and my preference is I always prefer food, because food is going to be around forever. You're not going to be drinking meal replacement shakes when you're 60, 70 years old. And more importantly, you get extra vitamins and minerals from food as well, and your body actually prefers it. It's not chemically enhanced, and there's no scientific Bunsen burner chemicals in there or any of that sort of stuff. So my personal preference is a meal replacement food over a meal replacement shake. Now, in saying that, I'm not going to come here and bag them out, because obviously there's reasons why they're in the market, and there's reasons why they're popular or why they're not popular. Now, the only time I would ever recommend the meal replacement shake is if you're actually on the go, or you forget your lunch, or you don't want to make you don't have much calories, but you're feeling a bit snacky, peckish. So I would recommend at that point in time having a meal replacement shake. So don't use a protein shake as a meal replacement. Use protein as a topper to an existing nutritional plan. What that means is, if I'm not getting enough protein through food throughout the day, for example, right now I'm doing about 240 grams of protein a day. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean 240 grams of meat or actual protein. That means 240 grams of protein. So that equates to about 700 grams of meat. Now, for some people, that might be really, really tough to consume throughout the day. So what I do is I would have a protein shake after my gym workout, not only for the benefits that I get whilst my body is anabolic, but for the benefits that I'm going to actually top up and meet my protein targets. Now, that technically isn't a meal replacement shake. It doesn't have a meal replacement label. It's just a standard WPI protein shake. But what it's actually doing is it's actually making me hit my protein requirements. So in that case, I would always use a protein shake to top up. Now, the same thing if you guys are actually trying to put on some solid muscle and you're on my lean gains program, at that point in time, then you may need a carbohydrate shake. So something that's got really, really dextrose, a high amount of carbs in it. So you're not going to be able to consume about 2 kilos of rice a day. So you might have this mass gain as you've seen that in the market. So that's my view on the meal replacement. I would always consult a doctor or a GP and say, hey, I'm struggling to get this amount of food in. I'm on this sort of a fitness or nutritional plan, and what do you recommend for a meal replacement shake? Unless it's actually prescribed to you, I wouldn't actually try and incorporate it into your everyday life, because like I said earlier, moving down the line, you're about 50, 60 years old. You're not going to constantly have meal replacement shakes, and plus the additional chemicals that are in there, your kidneys and your liver is going to find hard to break down. And it's always a preference to have food. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not medically qualified I'm not medically qualified in general to make that statement, but in my opinion and my experience in the past, I always prefer food. Now, the argument that there's multiple types of meal replacements. The only thing that I will recommend you guys is just have a look at the nutritional label on the actual meal replacement. Make sure you're actually getting what you want to get out of that meal replacement. Now, something high in protein is going to keep you fuller for longer. Something high in sugar is going to give you a high, but it's also going to make you hungry much quicker. So what that means is if you buy a meal replacement shake and it's, for example, it's got 20 grams of protein and 3 or 4 grams of carbs, and it might have 3 or 4 grams of sugar, that's actually a pretty good shake. It's closer to a protein shake as opposed to a meal replacement shake. But then on the flip side, if you actually are struggling to get your food down, you can always incorporate a Dan shake in there. And instead of using the actual WPI protein, I tend to use egg whites. Now, it sounds, it's a bit disgusting. You've got blueberries and yogurt and egg whites in there, but actually the blueberries and the cinnamon and the peanut butter overpower the egg yolks, the egg whites, and therefore you can raise your protein levels and still be consuming the foods rich in vitamins and minerals. Now, this one's just a quick one, guys. So I hope you guys have had an amazing week. The weather's been a bit how you going. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, but I can really feel summer coming along. I'll see you guys on Saturday. It's a pretty good topic on Saturday, so don't miss it. It's going to be nice and early in the morning. So it gives you a great start to your weekend. I hope you guys are sticking to your plan. For the clients out there, check in. Make sure you guys log your measurements on the app. And I also want to say, guys, head to the One Team Health website. I've just uploaded a shit ton of resources on there that are just free resources, some personal, some fun facts that I wanted to share with the community and give back to everyone for supporting the followers. Check out the socials because I'm always giving away free coaching sessions and all that. And if you feel as though there's somebody that you know that can either benefit, feel free and I'll let them into this group. But until then, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Stick to the plan and I'll catch you guys later.